Here is a list of South Africa's best broken trust dramas 2017 to 2023. At number 1, Nobody Dies 2018. Have you ever felt like life just keeps piling on and suddenly you're stuck in the middle of chaos you never asked for? That's exactly what happens in Anderman's Nobody Dies, a South African action comedy that turns the ordinary guy's story upside down. Daniël Niemand is the kind of person who avoids conflict at all costs until his world collapses in 1 week. His wife leaves him, the police mistake him for a criminal, and he's thrown into a wild chase with gangsters and undercover agents. What makes this film worth watching is not just the action, but the transformation. Daniel goes from being nobody to discovering he can be another person. It's funny, fast, and surprisingly relatable, because who hasn't wondered how they'd cope if life suddenly demanded more courage than they thought they had? At number 2, Fatal Seduction 2023. Sometimes the most gripping stories aren't about heroes or villains, but about ordinary people making choices that spiral out of control. Fatal Seduction, a South African Netflix series, explores exactly that. Nandi Mahlati, a respected law professor, feels her marriage slipping away and makes a decision that changes everything. What begins as a brief escape leads to the sudden death of her best friend Brenda and the unsettling reappearance of Jacob, the man she thought she left behind. As secrets unfold, Nandi finds herself caught between protecting her daughter and facing the truth about her husband Leonard's corruption. The show asks us to reflect. How well do we really know the people closest to us? It's not just suspense, it's a lesson in trust, choices, and consequences. Watching it feels like holding up a mirror to life's fragile bonds. At number 3, Catching Feelings 2017. Have you ever felt like you're just going through the motions, waiting for something to shake up your routine? That's exactly where Max and Sam find themselves in the movie Catching Feelings. They are a young, educated couple living in Johannesburg whose predictable life gets completely turned upside down when a famous, chaotic older writer unexpectedly moves into their home. Suddenly, their quiet space is filled with unpredictable energy, testing their trust and forcing them to confront their deepest personal insecurities. It makes you wonder, how well do we really know ourselves when our comfort zones are challenged? You should definitely watch this film because it offers a brilliant, humorous, and highly relatable look at modern relationships and identity. It teaches us a lot about communication and self-awareness, making it both an entertaining watch and a great conversation starter. At number 4, Black Sails 2014. What makes Black Sails so compelling is that it feels less like a pirate fantasy and more like a thought experiment about freedom, power, and community. Instead of opening with treasure hunts, the series begins by asking, what happens when people try to build a society outside the rules of empire? That question drives every twist, from Captain Flint's bold vision to John Silver's rise as a legend. I found myself drawn in not just by the ships and storms, but by the way the show mirrors struggles we still face today, balancing independence with order, ambition with loyalty. It's history reimagined, but also a mirror held up to our own choices. Watching it, you can't help but wonder how you'd survive in a world where every decision shapes the future. That curiosity alone makes Black Sails worth exploring. Subscribe for the next video.